podcast.
Episode 6 of KingWoes Court is inbound. How are we all doing, folks? Having a bit of a bad hair day today, so you won't get to see the beautiful bald dome. But I just want to say thanks very much for watching the last couple of episodes on YouTube. It's been a great experience, I have to say. People really seem to enjoy watching the guests with me on YouTube, so we'll keep it going. Anyway, this week I don't have a guest as such, because what I'm trying to do is, kind of port over my old episodes from my own Anchor account over to the DPN. So every third or fourth week we're going to have one of the old ones, and I'm going to call it a throwback episode. So this week we're going to go with Scathed, a young band from Dublin. With a fantastic female front woman, Ainsley, savage voice, savage attitude, and this is when they were just after releasing their EP. So have a listen, and we'll be back next week with a new guest. As you know, KingWoes Court exclusively on the Dynamo Podcast Network. We're going to bring you something every week now, so enjoy.
Welcome back to KingWoes Court, episode 18, inbound, and we have an interesting band with us today. I'm really looking forward to this. And just before we go on, 2000 Woes new t-shirts are currently being made, so I should have them with me in the next week or two, and we'll definitely have them for the gig on the 22nd of November in Chennai. But we should have them on sale on the Bandcamp very soon as well. Anyway, the band we have today, young band from Dublin with a fantastic calibre of musicianship in them. They're going to have a big EP launch tomorrow night in Dublin, and I'm delighted to get them on today and have a chat with them on KingWoes Court. So sit back, relax, and get ready for Scathed.
It's
Well, there we go. That was Induced to Fear from the new EP, Where Truth Occurs, by my guest today, Scathed.
Scathed, hello.
Welcome to
Hi.
KingWoes Court.
Great to see you, man.
I know, it's been a while, as we were saying, hasn't it?
It's been a long while, yeah. I
Absolutely.
think the last time we bumped into each other, we were like ships in the night trying to get to see each other's gigs.
Yes. Well, I think next year we'll make more of an effort to see each other's gigs. I hope so.
Absolutely.
So, welcome Ronan and welcome Ainsley. Thanks
Cheers.
very much for coming into the court of the king, as they say.
Glad to be
Thanks for
here.
having us.
It's as I said to you, I was trying to get around to doing this for ages, and I'm delighted we finally got to do it because you have a big gig coming up tomorrow,
Yes, yeah,
which we'll talk about later,
absolutely.
because I have a certain way of.
Absolutely, we'll flow through it.
So, tell me about who's in the band and tell me what they do.
Okay.
If Ainsley, if you want to
You
start
wanna
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on vocals, and we've got Ronan on drums. Our bassist Luke and Ronan joined the same time around a year ago now.
Okay.
Before that, it was just myself, other guitarist, second Luke,
Two.
two Lukes, and Ryan, who's our other guitar player now, and he actually
Right.
started off on drums, which is crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, like me, Luke Menton, Ryan, it was the three of us, and then we decided, you know what, Ryan, I think you'd prefer to play guitar, and he's like, yeah, you're right.
Brilliant.
So we got Ronan in on drums, and then it took us a while to find a bassist, but eventually we ended up
You
with
got one.
the absolute.
You found your feet with it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Found your feet with
Yeah.
Ronan.
Yeah, we got lucky.
I was
Luke
delighted. It was because I remember hearing when the Petrify single came out first, and I can't remember where I heard it or what I was doing at the time, but I was like, that's really cool. Like it's a bit different, and I was like, oh, they're like, I'm kind of new Ainsley a bit through college really, and
Call to arms as well.
yeah, through Call to Arms and the guys. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of wouldn't mind doing something like that along the line. And then I kind of took about 6 months off completely just to finish college. There's actually 3 of us. Well, technically 4. We're in BIM.
Yeah.
All right.
Myself and Ryan were in the same year, and we were in multiple classes together. Didn't speak at all for the entire
No way.
4 So the first time we talked was the first band practice. But yeah, no, I think Luke, the guitar player, hit me up one day randomly. He just texted me and said, hey, we saw, I think it was one of the videos on YouTube, one of the old CTA videos or
Yeah,
something. He's
yeah.
like, we'd like you to come along and try out. And this was right in the peak essay writing season in college. And I said, look, I think that'd actually be really cool, but I can't at the minute. Because you guys were playing a gig in Cork.
Yeah, we were playing a gig in Cork, and we were like, hey, how about it? And he's like, no.
I was like, this is 10 days away and I don't know any of the songs, and I have a 8,000 word thesis to write. So, but we kind of just got into it then that summer and just we practiced like crazy, really, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how long were you without a band for? Because you were, like, I know we had a bit of a jam. at one
Yeah,
point,
we
but-
did. I'm trying to think kind of timeline wise. Call to Arms was like 2015. 2015. I think because I was just turned 21, and I think it was just after my birthday that year, and that was, we did up to the Siege. It was actually probably this time 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So then it was October to March doing nothing.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then I remember I was sitting there one day, and I was sitting at home with my girlfriend Sarah, and
Hey,
I just
Sarah.
got a text from hey Sarah, and a text from Carl King, and I was like, oh, what's up, man? And chatting back and forth, and we were like, listen, we're thinking of having a jam. Would you be interested? And I was like, Carl's interested in having a jam with me. That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Because I've seen the guys in the wall before, and great band, like, and love this, and great energy about it. Like, it was something I was completely excited about, and just
I was excited to try
Yeah.
to work with you as well. Like,
And I think-
I eventually still want to work with you again at some point.
yeah. And we did one practice, and it went all right. It wasn't great. There was
It was
a few
okay.
good signs, and then we were kind of left at that. I would practice a bit more. We would come in down again, and just it was the right opportunity at the wrong time.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
exactly how we felt as well.
And I remember I was torn because I really wanted to do it, and you guys had he's had a gig in Belfast that was
Mhm.
kind of thereabouts in June, I think.
Yeah.
And the idea was like, okay, if this goes well, that
Have a
could
go.
be a thing. And then I just remember sitting one day and I said to myself, I would only be doing myself and yourselves a disservice if I did it then and there.
Yeah.
But
And I respect that about people.
Yeah.
They're straight up with me, and it may not be what people want to hear, but
yeah,
that's the best way, I think.
Yeah.
that's exactly what I thought. I said I could say to you, look, I could make up a big excuse here, but I
And
wasn't.
people have done it on me.
Oh,
in the
well,
back.
It's the
So,
worst.
yeah,
Like, it's just
yeah.
don't waste
They've done
people's
it before,
time.
yeah.
Just be honest and straight up.
But there is a funny video. I must find it on. There's an old hard drive at home. But I was videoing myself practicing the songs,
Oh, really?
and there's a video of me, and it was like the 4th take of Devil's Mark,
Oh, cool.
and I just lost the rag. I kicked over my snare drum and said, I was, fuck this, fuck that. I hate music. I don't want to be in a band
Oh.
anymore.
You
But
gotta find that one.
yeah, I will. I must send it on to you. But yeah, no, it just, as I say, right opportunity, wrong time. And
Well, it seems that you, and I'm not just saying it because, as I said, I know you.
Yeah.
And I love him playing the drums. That was.
thank you.
I remember Steve Dempsey said it to me about you, and I was like, yeah, he's not with anyone.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, you know, what the fuck? So, definitely, it seems like a match made. Everybody seems.
I would say we're a quirky team.
Definitely. Yeah.
We've got 5 very strong personalities in this band.
Yeah. But that's a good thing.
It is
Because then everyone's
Yeah.
pulling their weight. Then you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
If it's left to one person or two, okay, you'll get their kind of personalities shining through more. So, but whereas if everyone is involved,
Mhm.
it's even better.
Mhm.
Just my take on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm in a band where 2 of us run it. You know, I love them all. Don't get me wrong.
Too many cooks though.
Oh,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Well,
no,
if you're all cooking the same recipe, then it's okay.
Yeah, just to make
like
sure
that.
we're all following the same recipe sometimes.
Which is the recipe you write.
For anyone who hasn't released an EP or done a music video or anything, it's probably the most stressful yet rewarding thing you can do.
Yeah.
Like we have been doing this, pretty much working on this for over a year, and just setback after setback. But there was times I remember during the mix and all, and I didn't want to hear it ever again.
Yeah.
And
Do you love it
felt
now?
that way.
I mean, I think we can all say we're really proud of it. Like,
Definitely. Once you have the finished product in your hands, you just you forget all the bad stuff that went horribly
Absolutely.
wrong and how long it took. I think we were just frustrated because we write a lot and we wanted to move on from these 4 songs, but they had to get out. Had to get out. We only had 1 song out, and that wasn't even with Ronan and Luke in the band, so we had to do something. But it was so worth it in the end. Like, it was like giving birth, but it's done now and it's out.
we're delighted.
So-
It's growing nicely. It's growing nicely. So who kind of, for this particular band, have you been in many bands before?
I've been in 2 other bands.
Okay. What kind of bands were they, first of all?
So, have you heard of Crooked Edge?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, I was in Crooked Edge for a couple of months. They were looking for a vocalist. Kev Kerwin tagged me in their comments on their post.
Shout out to Kev.
Hello, Kev.
Organising the gig for us tomorrow.
So I auditioned and they're like, yeah, we'll have you. And we wrote, they had their 4 songs finished, or 5 songs. And then they were just like, just write your vocal, we'll record. And then the guitarist got into college in Spain, so he left after that. Like, we launched the EP, we did a couple of gigs around Ireland, which was really fun, and loved the guys to bits. They were so much fun, and like, they're good friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Ronan went to college in Spain, so it just like fizzled out a bit. Like, nothing happened. Just different Ronan.
Luke's and Ronans everywhere.
So then I just had all my energy to put back into Scathed. Before Scathed, then I was in, I don't know if you can call it a band. Like, we practiced in Walkinstown. There was 3 or 4, there's 4 of us, and we played, like, I played guitar in the band. Like, that just shows, it was like so bizarre, because I can't play guitar. Like, I borrowed one of the lads' guitars when I went to practice to play. And we played, they were into their Oasis and their Blur, and like it's so different than what I do now. When I think about it, we were called the Calaveras. We never gigged. All we did was piss around in a rehearsal studio for hours.
Did you have fun though?
It was great crack. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's all that matters,
That's
really.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so, because we've got 2 years here now, and as I say, it is kind of who influenced you to start singing, kind of thing. You know, is there any one person in particular that got you interested?
Yeah, there was a few people, like, really, I always was, I loved singing from when I was a kid, and I did school choir, I did all that stuff, but when I was 15 or so, I really got into, like, old school rock and roll. I loved Joan Jett.
Nice.
I idolized her, and I was like, I want to sing like her. So I just tried by myself in my house when I was alone to try and sound like her, and like just through that I wouldn't say that I sought out female vocalists, because I didn't really, like, I would do that more so now, but back then I didn't really. Just if I stumbled across someone who I really liked, that's how it kind of happened. But definitely Joan Jett was a massive influence of mine. Brody Dahl from the Distillers, massively. I love her to bits. Maria Brink.
You wouldn't want to be a friend of hers, would you?
No,
all our friends are murderers and all that.
Oh god.
And Lizzie Hale as well. Yeah, those are probably my top 4.
She's doing really well, isn't it? Hailstorm,
Hailstorm,
or
Hailstorm, yeah. They gig with them last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, we sold out Academy Show.
that's right. Yeah.
And do you know what? It was funny because a couple of people were talking about it, and they were like, "Oh, you know, we've heard that she's not particularly nice, or she's very full of herself."
I hate that shit.
And herself, the whole band, and every member of their crew, they were the nicest people you could ever meet.
They were
Makes it
so
all better,
nice.
doesn't it?
Yeah, like I was so shy because I was so starstruck. I'm really bad for getting starstruck, and I think I was after the gig, and they weren't leaving till 12. Their bus wasn't leaving till 12, and I went up. I really wanted my set list signed just to keep. I knocked on their dressing room. I was like, oh jeez, so nervous. And they're like, come on in, pour yourself a drink, have some food with us. And
Savage.
I was like, I'll just go get the other guys. And they're like, absolutely. So we all sat
leave
in.
them out there.
We were waiting, because Ainsley went in, she's like, I'm just going to see if I can get her autograph, and I'll see. And the 4 of us were standing around
Looking cool.
Yeah, just kind of, and like the crew were loading all the stuff out, and then we were chatting to a couple of guys from MCD, and just kind of waiting. She was in there for about 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and we're like, what's going on? And then she popped her head, I was like, waved motions, like, guys, come on.
Yeah, they got me so drunk in that dressing room. Joe just kept topping up my whiskey. I was like, oh my god.
Wine and beers and everything.
But it's all there to be drank, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, they went,
and were they going to Belfast then after that?
They were,
they did.
yeah.
I think that was like a Wednesday night or something in the Academy, and then they were up in Belfast on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's weird when you're playing a weeknight, isn't it? Like on a gig like that, or as well as that, if your set's over at like 8 o'clock or 7:30.
Yeah.
Because you know the way we're all used to playing at like 12 or
on a Saturday.
Yeah, easily or later than that even.
And as well as that, and don't anyone that's listening, don't take this the wrong way. You could be playing to feck all people.
Yeah.
And it's a good old lineup.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where you're playing on a Wednesday night to a fucking sold out crowd, like.
Yeah.
I've played with some of probably the best bands around Ireland, and even people that were kind of over from the UK for gigs to less than 10 people. You know, like on the rocks downstairs Fibbers on like a Thursday, and
I played a gig in Fred Zeppelin's one time, and this is why I believe it's different now. So on you Cork people listening, don't kill me. I believe it's different now, but I remember playing a gig there with a band from the States. I think they were from the States, and no one came with it upstairs.
Yeah.
Everybody was downstairs. It was jammers downstairs, and they were listening to the jukebox. So there was live music on upstairs, and that just kind of scared me a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it's weird because we had the opposite experience. But I think the difference was that we were playing with bands who had like much younger friends. So like I don't know, was it an 18s gig or was it under?
Our last time we played Fred's.
Well, I don't know. Well, that time, but then there's 2 other times that we played, and it's always filled out a bit. But I think because they had a younger group going in who weren't there just to drink, they were going up. So we got lucky because whatever bands are playing, you know.
We played with, it was quite a mix. I think it was 4 or 5 bands the last time, and it was like was quite a mixed group of bands on it. Like there was kind of like a punk rock band, and then there was like a noise rock duo. Very different bands, but like I thought it was class. I love playing with bands of a similar genre, but sometimes it just gets a bit repetitive. And sometimes having something a bit of a wild card there.
Yeah,
is,
I like mixed builds if I can get them going.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite hard though at times, especially when when people are expecting a certain kind of a package. I think, like from my band, like I've kind of we're playing in a few weeks, and I have like I own a Death Cult and Grey Stag playing, which are kind of similar in approach, I suppose, to us. But like I'm looking at. I'd love to play with you guys at some point.
Definitely.
I'd love to, for example, I'd love to put you, us, and Horrenda on a bill. Just fuck with people's heads like that for us, But Ronan, influences, because we've spoken about this before, but never on a podcast. So tell the lovely people.
Yeah, starting off, the quick thing about me as a musician, I played like classical piano when I was like 7 up until I was about 16.
Awesome.
And I had a very good friend from secondary school, Aaron Gilbert, who was playing with Infectious. And he was like, we need a drummer. And I started off playing Rock Band. The yoke on the PlayStation. Yeah. And like, they were like, you can do that, you can play a key. And I think I started playing drums when I was about 15 then.
Wow.
And I practiced so much over just a real short period of time. But I think the bands really starting off for me, we would listen to a lot of like Metallica, like Lars, and Ride the Lightning in particular.
Oh yeah.
I love it's still my favourite Metallica album. Absolutely love it. And we played a load of covers of that. And then the second main influence is a funny one as well. I can't remember the guy's name. I think his name is Moose or something. But from Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay.
And they were like kind of emo metalcore stuff, but they were, I don't know, it was 15-year-old me thought it was class.
They were still good musicians in fairness.
Oh, they really were, like, and his stuff, there was a lot of double kick, and I kind of borrowed a lot of ideas from him, like with the double kick stuff, and I loved that. And they were kind of the two main guys starting off. Like I know people give Lars a lot of shit, but
hey, he laid
the
a lot
most
of
influential drummer of all time. Like,
absolutely. So, people are allowed to be shit in their older years. It's
like, how long are they gone now? How long have they been touring?
Over 30 years.
30 plus years. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're never going to be as the same as you were in your early 20s. It's not physically.
And at least every single rock or metal fan likes at least one Metallica song.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah. It's like them and probably Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Everyone likes at least one song.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there's something wrong with you.
Or you're lying.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like Master Puppets was my first.
Yeah, I think I was the same. Yeah.
And that's still my favourite to this day. So.
But then after that, I've kind of mellowed a little bit now. The stuff I listen to, the two drummers that I listen to a lot at the minute. There's a band called Death Heaven. I don't know if you've heard of Death Heaven.
No.
They kind of burst into popularity in 2013. They had this album where it was like a mix of black metal with kind of shoegaze sort of stuff, like real delayed. It's like Oasis meets Burzum or something. It's very weird. It's hard to describe, but
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, their drummer Dan Tracy is fucking unbelievable.
Where are they from?
They're California, I think. I actually saw them recently myself, and our bassist Luke flew to Belgium to see them. And I had seen him in Whelan's 3 years ago, just on a Wednesday evening in Whelan's, like busy enough, but Whelan's all the same. And this place was like 3,000 cap venue, sold out months in advance. But love his stuff. And then I got massively into ISIS recently as well.
Oh, ISIS, yeah.
And
not the terrorists.
No, not the terrorists. No,
shut it off.
I've kind of started playing, and I've started to do a bit of session work as well, and one of the guys was like, have a listen to this specific album by them, and Aaron Harris is their drummer. They've two Aarons.
Right.
And
Aaron's, Luke's,
Browns. There's loads of us. But he kind of inspires me a lot. He's not a very busy player.
Okay.
It's very much sort of feel.
which is good.
It's good, yeah. It's a different sort of thing that I've been kind of used to, like where instead of maybe doing a lot of busy stuff, he's just kind of feeling along, and that's what I'm trying to do on my own playing a little bit. I think when I was in Called Arms, we had a tendency to write the most over the top stuff possible. Now it was great, but it was hard to play.
Yeah.
Like it was, you always had to be on top of it. You know, sometimes it was a little bit off, but I've been trying to step back a little bit, like, and just kind of let the song serve the purpose, as opposed to.
I always say that if a drummer plays for the song and not for himself, he's a good, or he or she, he's a good drummer.
Yeah.
I've had too many instances where the drummer played for themselves and not for the music, and it eventually failed, unfortunately. So
it makes a better song in the long run. I mean, even through we demo fairly extensively on. I have a tendency to maybe overplay the first time around. But then when you listen back to it and you go, the simpler, it might make something else, maybe a vocal melody or, you know, a bass line stand out a little bit better.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my job is to keep time.
Yeah.
And kind of the guitars and the vocals are the star of the show, really and truly.
Well, not necessarily. No.
I do throw in a few flashy bits.
There's a good interlock between the bass and the drums.
Yes.
And that's like Henry Rollins used to call it a rhythm allowance.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, I like my vocals to be part of the instruments rather than my vocal out front.
Sure.
You know, and so not that I don't like being out front. I'm a front man, of course, but like if we can get that perfect balance where everything is an instrument and everyone has their equal amount of a sound, if you get me, and that's what we kind of pushed for with Bloodwood. We wanted to make sure everyone, like, you could get the really clear, crisp bass tone, that kind of stuff, and everybody kind of has their time to shine. You know, so I think that's where I think if you're playing that way, it's a much better way to play and stuff. You know, and I think it's working for you. You know, that's what I think. Ainsley, front man to front woman. I really love when I have front people. This is so weird because I normally say front man. Normally when I have a singer, you do all the lyrics, do you?
I do, yeah. There's one or two songs that like Ronan or Ronan had like a few lines here and there, and I just built around it. But I write them like 90%.
Yeah. What would be your main kind of inspiration for lyrics, or?
My main inspiration, I suppose, I have like a book that I carry around with me sometimes, and if a thought that's worth writing down happens, I'll write it down. Or if I think of something that I think might be a good theme for a song, if I'm feeling particularly strongly about something, I'll, you know, write that down or think about some things that might, you know, I could build on that from that. I mean, when I look back at my lyrics, it's kind of, to me, I see like some of my influences, and then sometimes not at all. Like, we wrote with Obsessions, a new song we wrote, and I was looking at the lyrics like, that looks like a Nirvana song.
Okay.
And then I used to be a big My Chemical Romance fan back in the day. Sometimes I find myself, I just loved his like poetry. To me, it was just when I was younger, I loved how he wrote and how creative he was, and you know, that was great. So I draw influence from that, but I also just let it flow naturally. You know, I don't try to.
You
make
don't force
something.
it.
No.
I think forcing it is just your line.
Yeah.
I mean, and I suppose like what I'm saying is like, would you have, say, like lines written before you hear the music, or would you write to what you hear what they have, or
both? Yeah, both. Because I would have, you know, a massive paragraph of 18 lines of like just shite, like nonsense sentences. And then sometimes the guys will bring a song and I'll be like, okay, I think that sentence fits there. Oh, and it's like a jigsaw, and I'm like, that fits there, that works there. Oh,
that's
swap
very
them
like
around.
the way I write.
Yeah. And then the end product, like, I don't think I've ever written a song where I started off on the first sentence of the first verse and wrote it all the way down.
No.
I don't think that's ever happened to me before.
But like, you ever get to a stage where you're like, how the fuck did I write that?
Yeah.
And you know, you're like, that's awesome. How did I
Yeah.
fucking write? I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
And like you say, it would start jumbled up,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, and it's a great feeling, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's so rewarding, especially when you've laid it down after the demo and you've played it loads and you're like, this actually does feel like a real song, whereas in the beginning it's like, I just threw this together like from nonsense and made it into something, but then it just starts to take on its own meaning.
yeah,
And,
absolutely. I think we're very lucky in a sense that we're able to create
yeah,
in that way, in a quite a personal way as well.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm only recently, I didn't realise it. I think I said it in the last podcast, but I subconsciously wrote 2 songs about my mental health, and I didn't realise it.
Yeah.
Like they just came out,
Yeah.
and like that, I don't force the situation. I wrote one for 2000, and then my other project you probably heard, Withered Fist.
Yes.
So there's 2 songs that I didn't even realise were about my mental health, and it was just like they're like my extra kids now, and I'm even more protective of them now.
Yeah.
It's mad. So like, I love hearing how other lyricists write.
Yeah, I find it really interesting as well.
It's interesting though working with it, because I myself and the other Luke kind of write lyrics as well.
Right.
But anytime we put it to it, I never quite feel it's kind of like, oh, I don't really know here, and then you pass it off to Ainsley and kind of works our magic on it a little bit, and I don't know, it's just it's nice hearing something, and there's a particular skill to writing lyrics and actually making something mean something, which I don't have the skill of, and you guys both do. Like it's about telling a story and putting a vibe across, and it's amazing to like think when you have a song done instrumentally and then you're kind of waiting for the lyrics, but how much better of an overall package it makes it with something that means something as well behind it. Yeah.
But that brings me back to everybody has a part to play in the band.
Yeah,
Everyone has their
absolutely.
equal part. So you might think, oh, like, you know, Ainsley's the front man, whatever. You still have as much of a part to play in creating what just create. Like, you know, and when a band is on form and is producing on all cylinders, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's really nothing.
It's
like
a great feeling. Like it's, I would say, just like the actual writing of the music and playing it live together, it's quite cathartic. Like it's
Absolutely.
It's just there's no other feeling like in the world, I don't think. And like there's times, like I'm sure we were joking at practice the other day. We were all dead tired practicing at about 10:30 at night, and we were like, oh, I don't want this. But then we're practicing the other night as well, and just the excitement out for the gig, and like it's gonna be great tomorrow. Like,
we're really looking forward.
Can't wait. Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna do my best to get down. We'll talk about that in a while. And as I said, Ainsley, because you're my kind of first front woman on the show, I just wanted to talk about something maybe that you could help me with. I don't know. So, is there a lot of women, girls on the Irish metal scene that we know about, or is it hard for them to kind of break into the scene, or what do you think? If you understand what I'm saying, I don't want it to sound cliche or anything like that.
No, not at all. Like it's nice to have a conversation about it, because I think people are scared to talk about it. No one wants to say the wrong thing, and there's definitely an imbalance there. Like, you know, when you look at the population, 50% of us are female, 50% of us are male. So, and that should spill into every area of life. And for some reason, music in general, and then particularly rock music and metal music, there is just that imbalance. And I don't know what it is. You know, I couldn't even answer why. I don't even know why that is. Like it's definitely, but even the fact that there is so few of us sometimes makes friendships a little bit more special. Like there's some girls who I know, Julia from Red Sun Alert, I love her. Love when I get to meet up with her. She's great. It's nice when I run into Hazel.
What's her name? What's her name of her band again?
Julia, and she's from Red Sun Alert.
Cool.
Yeah. They're awkward. Definitely check them out.
And you said Hazel, of course.
Yeah. So it's nice, like when you do get to know other girls in the scene and get to know them more, and it's just a little bit more special, you know, because you know you're like, well, so there's so few of us here that,
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had and Jessie
Yeah.
Are a bassist we jammed with a while ago as well. Before we had Luke, it was nice as well to have another girl in the band for a little while. And yeah, like that's the main thing. Just like meeting other girls is like it's just it makes it a little bit more different. Like
normally we would, if we see girls in the rock metal bands as musicians more so, as in with an instrument, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like Claire from Dead Label, or
of course, Claire. I forgot her.
and Ace from Celtic Court. You know, the drummer. That's drummers. Yeah, drummers. You know, female drummers. I don't know. There seems to be a lot more female musicians in the punk scene. In the Irish punk scene. I
think so. Yeah.
Danny Nolan as well, amazing drummer who I went to being with.
That's right. Yeah. Jesus. That's bad. Like. So yeah, do you find any? How do you find people accept like the metalheads taking like, or the rock heads or whatever like?
Yeah, I don't want to say that I've ever had like a bad experience that was down to me being a girl. But I wouldn't want to demean other people's experiences either. Yeah, you know, like I haven't experienced that, and I'm really lucky. Hopefully stays that way, you know. But also,
you play good music, and you will be.
I mean,
you'll be good. You'll be solid.
Like if it did ever happen, like I would just take it on the chin. Like I kind of would.
I get you. Yeah, you know I mean, I just because you know yourself, like the Irish metal scene can be so judgmental at times, and I think it's refreshing to see a really strong front woman personality doing really well. You know, I love it, and that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up tonight. You know what I mean? So, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And hopefully, like you can inspire the next group of young girls coming up that are into metal.
Yeah.
Or rock.
Cool.
Like you say metal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bit of both.
See,
you're a bit of both.
That's the thing with us. I think it started off kind of hard rock with a bit of metal, and now I think it's more metal with a bit of rock.
And that's
we're still trying to find our feet as in terms of the 5-piece that it is now.
And that's a good thing, because I was even trying to who did they sound like? I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I think people can't put us in a box. Every time we get a review, they're like.
Someone said the other day that we were like, what was it? The Cranberries on Acid or something like. I don't know.
Who's a female from the band? Cranberries.
There we go. Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, but it's just we're all trying to kind of gel together and write, and we have 3 done singles at the minute for kind of 2020 onwards, and they're all very different. So we're just trying to kind of see. We're gonna play the 3 new songs tomorrow, and it's just interesting to see what the reaction is like to maybe a slightly heavier song or something like back, because I don't think we're going into it saying we have to be particularly soft or we want to go too hard. We're just kind of going with the flow. I don't think we ever go into something and say right, and this has to sound like this. We kind of just whatever happens. And
what I like about your vocals is there's a certain swagger to them.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like your I'm trying to, what way would I put it now? I was listening, because I wouldn't normally, my favourite, I love Kate Bush.
Oh yeah, she's great.
And, my favourite album is The Kick Inside, her debut album, you know. I know your vocal and her vocal are kind of miles apart, but I just something that I like that clicked with me with your vocal, and so I wouldn't normally be into an awful lot of female vocalists, you know, but there's a kind of a cheeky swagger about it that I like, and I'm like, that's... That girl can tell a story, you know what I mean?
That's good to hear.
Yeah, well, that's just how I feel when I hear that. When I listened to you kept me awake on the bus this morning, so you know.
God knows whatever.
It was finished at 6, so God. Yeah, so again, thanks for sharing that with me. Throw me out some of your favourite Irish metal bands and rock bands. Sorry,
Irish metal bands. Oh God, coming off the cuff there.
Yeah, I'm not going to just prepare you.
No, absolutely. Why is this one so hard? The first name that always comes to mind will always be Dead Label.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Well, they're pioneers.
They absolutely are. Like, I mean, I remember the first time I got to play with them, I was starstruck.
Yeah.
I saw them in 2012 opening for Machine Head.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw them and said, holy shit, there's an Irish band on the stage in the Olympia, and they could have been they could have been, you know, a signed band from anywhere in the world. They get the crowd going. Dan is such an amazing front man.
He's brilliant.
Like he would do whatever he tells you to do.
Yeah.
Like he just has it, and they're such a tight unit.
Yeah.
And they write good songs as well. Like, and they're
Absolutely.
the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Like Claire was always great for me with advice as a drummer, because I didn't
Yeah.
really know much starting off, and I used to go into her next music all the time.
And annoy her.
Yeah, I felt at the time I was trying to be like thing, and she was always like, no, it's grand, and she would help me tune my kit and just little bits of advice here and there, and loved it. One of my favourite bands that aren't around anymore actually are Genova.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, we were good friends with those guys. We shared a room with them a couple of times.
Why are they not going anymore?
I'm not sure. I don't know the finer point of the details. CJ had left a couple of years, and then he was replaced by Hugh, and then Brian Harrington, another amazing frontman as well, amazing guy, real nice guy as well. I think he was just burnt out with kind of bands in general, so he finished it off. And I don't think they had a couple of people in on vocals, but I don't know if anything really ever came to it. And
From what I remember, he was a bit of a force of nature, wasn't he? Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Had a bit of an opinion on a lot of things.
Listen, I mean,
if I remember correctly,
I always think there's a lot of people who I would disagree with stuff on a personal level, like even close friends, but purely from the stuff that he does on stage and on recording, like he's incredible. Like
they had a certain sound, alright. Yeah.
And then I think the last name that's come to mind is Horrenda, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Our new buddies in Horrenda, who I had kind of seen bits and pieces of over the years. And then I remember, I think we both played the same Metal to the Masses heat this year.
Yes.
Did we?
Yeah, I think it was the first heat. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it was my first time actually properly sitting down to watch them. And I was like, fuck, these guys are class.
Yeah.
And then we became roommates then recently enough. It was like a case of, right, we need to find a band really quick. And I think we had 2 days to find someone to go in. And we were like, who do we know that's good, that we could trust? And we sent the guys a message, and little friendship was born out of that.
So they were telling me to tell you actually about a story or something. What was that?
Right. So yeah, our room, it's a 24 access place, and every once in a while I do a bit of session work for different people. And I was in one night, I was probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I was sitting away on the keyboard kind of programming out some stuff for a session. My eyes were wrecked, I was tired, and I remember just spinning around in the chair, and I sat there, and all of a sudden in the corner of the room jumps out this big fucking, I don't even know what to describe it as, this big figure. So the guys have a mascot called Shannon.
Alright.
And apparently it had been in the rehearsal spot the whole time, and I just hadn't noticed it. And when I say I nearly crapped my pants, it was that bad.
It is freaky.
It's very freaky. Like, the guys are much into their, like, you know, obviously the imagery and stuff that goes with the black metal thing, and it's just a little logo that they have there with them. But I don't know, here it is actually. If you look,
there's a look there. Oh yeah, no, that
would scare you. It would.
Well, if you've never seen it before,
No, I just texted them. I said, lads, how long is that there? How have I not seen this before? Or did you put that there, or is this some sort of,
just arrived there?
You know, is this the end for Ronan? But
oh my god, that's cool.
They're cool guys.
Any bands you particularly like, anything?
Yeah, there's a good few. Of course, Jailbirds come to mind.
Oh yeah,
Jailbirds.
You're biased, you
are.
They're doing great at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing really well, and we're really proud of them.
That's a shit.
They're doing great things because they're so like niche, and everyone loves a bit of rock and roll.
Hard working.
Completely. Like,
one thing I know about a band is that if they work hard.
Yeah, they're.
I tip me cap. They work very fucking hard.
One of the most professional bands I've ever met in Ireland. Then also I'm such a fangirl for Greyface. Have you heard of Greyface?
I've heard of them.
They are my faves.
Yeah.
Like,
they played the Bloodstock final last year, didn't they? They were
it was the Vakken.
Oh, the Vakken
thing, and they won it.
They won. They went to Vakken.
Yeah.
They're a bit of a strange proposition, aren't they?
They just
they started they were quite young when they started off, and I think it started kind of metalcore-y, and then they were played with 8 strings for a little while.
8 strings.
Yeah. It was like a 6-month phase, I think. But then in the last year or two, I think it's kind of like rock, rap, opera. Like it's very hard to describe.
Rap.
It is like rap
on
rock,
paper.
yeah.
On paper, because I remember I kind of saw a picture of them, and they have kind of outfits and stuff, and it's like inspired by theatre, and I was kind of like, how's that going to work? And then we played with them in Whelan's during the summer, and they were incredible.
Wow,
really
They're
good.
just so creative. Roy's lyrics are great. His rhythm is amazing. Like, they're just deadly. Also on stage, when you look at them, they look so freaky. They just look like little weirdos, and it's great in the best way. So I love them. Callous Crows as well are another rock band that I think are deadly. I don't really know what they're up to now, but a couple of years ago they were doing some cool things. Jet Fuel Chemistry as well.
Yeah, friends of ours.
Don't know what they're doing now either.
Oh,
but
I remember the name already. Yeah.
Danny actually recorded most of the EP and mixed and mastered it. Mick from Track Mix did the drums and the bass, and then Danny did the guitars, vocals, and then the mix and master and stuff as well. But
that covers that question.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There's a band I like. I don't know if you know anyone from them. The Virgin Converters. Very, very good band.
Oh my god. The funny, there's actually a funny story about the Virgin Converters as well, because I think it was around May originally when Luke Menton, Scathed guitarist, texted me and said, look, we're looking to set this up. I was like, okay, cool. And then we had our first rehearsal maybe 2 weeks later, and gelled really well. And I was like, look, okay, you're in the band if you want to be in the band. I was like, amazing. And then I'm not kidding you, maybe the same night, the other Luke from the Virgin Converters texted me and said, hey, I'm in need of a drummer. I've been sent your way by a few people. I've heard you're you've got what it takes. Would you be interested? I said, man, I joined the band about 6 hours ago. I would love to do it, but I just didn't have the time. And then fate, I think, brought the two of us together, because we're like yin and yang sometimes, and then oil and water other times. Like, we're very we work kind of well together a lot of the time. But
is there much happening with that, can I ask? Or?
It's on hiatus a little bit.
Okay.
We do have a couple other projects that we're kind of working on. We are trying to get up. We have a few things we want to record. We reckon we're going to go up to track mixing.
Lovely. Get
a bit of stuff down. But we did the Metal to the Masses this year as well, purely just as, let's have a bit of crack with this.
Exactly, yeah.
And like we put a lot of backing tracks and stuff in it. There's a very funny video as well. For the Wildcard show, we took a few videos of Oren from previous years.
No way.
So Oren, of course, anyone that knows him at the Metal to the Masses, is the MC, and in between he's roaring and getting the crowd G'd up and whatever. But we took a load of sound bites and just randomly put them through the set of him talking.
Is that video on YouTube, is it?
There is one, I must send it on to you.
Oh, do.
But there's one part in particular where the video, like, Oren's getting up because he thinks the song is over, and then it just cuts and it's just him shouting, fucking Bloodstock! And then just a big breakdown happens.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear that.
It's great, you have to see it.
So another thing that I was wanting to ask you, there's a band from New York called Scathed. Have you heard of them?
I think there's 3 bands.
Really?
Yeah, there's like 3 bands.
And has there been any kind of discussions with anyone like, it's my name or my name or?
No.
Or
I actually did reach out to them because there was one time that all of their gigs, their ticketed gigs, were coming up on our Spotify. So you go onto our Spotify and it would say we were playing in Buffalo, and like obviously we
had someone messaged us then and was like, oh, I didn't know you guys were going to the States.
Yeah, and we were like, we're not a chance. So I did message them and be like, hey, look, I don't know if this is your issue or our issue, but we need to sort it out because I'm sure you're losing out on like people coming to our Spotify seeing that we're playing in Buffalo and we're not. It's actually your show. That can't be good for either of us. So maybe we'll sort that out. And I don't know what they did. They sorted out whatever they did. And but sometimes I hope that when people from Ireland search Scathed.
Yeah.
The ones that come up.
We, in the process of getting the EP ready, like one of the things we did was we registered all the tracks with PPI.
Yeah.
And then we were playing on the radio in the UK. I think it was the Ignite Rock Show or something. Can't remember the exact name. But one of the things we said to him was like, have a look. We sent him on the ISRC code, and we said, just have a look, because there is a couple of Scathed. And when he looked at it, we said, you're the only guys that have actually kind of registered the songs online, that sort of way. So
Brilliant.
But there, I think there's a punk band, and then there's also there was like a wedding band, sort of thing from somewhere as well.
Strange.
Listen, there's only a finite amount of words out there.
Yeah. Sometimes I like their stuff just to be
just-
nice. I like their page. I like some of their posts sometimes.
So I'm gonna just pause this for a minute, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about the EP and the EP launch tomorrow night.
Perfect.
So just bear with us for a moment while I turn some lights on. So Ronan just got his extra glass of water there. So,
Diva.
yeah, welcome back, KingWoes Court in the house. We have Scathed. Thanks again for coming again, guys.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this awesome EP where truth occurs. Tell me about the process. When did it happen? Who's the personnel? And
Do you want to start off?
Where to begin? So
before we go on, sorry, I will point out it's a lovely design.
the artwork, do you like it?
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
It's Serpent Tusk.
Yes.
Yeah, he did an unreal job.
My old buddy Calvin.
Calvin, absolute legend. He did this for us like so quickly as well, and he asked me like what I kind of had in mind, and I told him what I had in mind, and he nailed it. So we're absolutely.
He's on 4 at the moment.
Oh, doing
Really
so
is.
well. Yeah.
It was I think we in particular just wanted to make sure that the message of what Ainsley's vocals were written about was getting put across, and it was kind of like, I don't know, when I saw it the first time I was like, I don't know, it made sense to me looking at it, like,
Well, if it hits you straight away, then
Exactly.
you're fit a winner. So
Yeah.
props to Cal.
Yeah.
My boy, kind of. So go on, tell me about the recording.
So we started recording. We started with guitar.
The songs are just before we talk about the recording. The songs were written a long time ago,
Good while, like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago.
before I joined the band.
Right.
And it was kind of a case of
Were all of them written before? you joined?
Yeah. We changed little bits. The first song, Compromise Me, the single, we kind of just changed. I threw a double kick section in, which
Hey.
led to the lads like maybe playing a little bit heavier in the
Yeah.
verse than
Yeah.
originally planned, but it was 99% done.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pretty much like the songwriting was done.
Yeah.
Just like the extras, the
Yeah.
cherries on top and stuff
Exactly,
like that.
yeah.
You know. So that was the writing process. And yeah, like we had these songs in our back pocket for so long, and then it was great when, you know, the lads joined the band that we could finally get into recording. So we went to Danny Boshkov, who recorded Petrify, literally recorded guitars, bass, vocals in his bedroom, and then drums were done.
We did. Originally the plan was that Danny's part of a duo called North South Recordings.
Okay.
Or North South. Yeah, I think North South
Yeah.
Recordings. Because he's half based in Belfast and half in Dublin.
Okay.
And they have a space up there, and we were booked in maybe 3 or 4 times, but between myself and my work schedule, Danny and his schedule, and his partner up there, James, I think, that he works with up in Belfast, we just couldn't get down to get the drums done.
Okay.
And then eventually we're back and forth for a while, and we just said, look, the guys had the Virgin Verse had recorded with Michael up in Track Mix before, and he's done so many people in Ireland, like, and we said, right, we'll go up there and we'll do the drums. And we went up, we flew through the drums, like, I think it was my first time meeting him, and he laughed. We set up and got the tones or whatever, and then he was like, will we try a take? And I could hear him, he had actually left the mic on, and he was talking to Luke, and he said, is this guy good? Like, is he good? Like, is this gonna
Did
be...
you do that on purpose?
Who knows? But we did most of the songs in the first or second take, pretty much. We flew through it, and he was like, at the end of the first take, he was like, "Oh, you're one of those drummers. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's perfect. That's grand." But yeah, we did that, and we had so much time then because we had booked the day to do the drums. Because I didn't want to leave ourselves short by doing half a day and then regretting it, so we just did a full day. We had enough time then to fully re-record the bass, because Luke had just gotten a brand new bass as well, and the sound was a million times better with it. So now Mick sorted us out with that, and then we kind of sent it all on to Danny then, and then took a while trying to get started with the mixing. We actually, myself and Luke B, the bass player, went to Danny, and we kind of sat in for the edits, and then we kind of gave him notes, and then once a week, I think for about 5 or 6 weeks, we kind of all, the two guys sat together, and I was kind of I was working late a lot of the time, so I wasn't there for, but they got the mix going. But it's quite a dense mix, I think, because there's a lot going on, and like I think they did a great job with it. Like
Sounds
they really
fantastic.
did. Yeah. It's yeah, as I say, like we're really proud of it. But
And you should be.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
thanks. But even I think like as you probably know yourself, the recording process, we had the master tracks I think in May.
Sitting on them.
And then
That's
you know
horrible.
trying to get the money together
Yeah.
to get everything sorted, and B, just the time just to get everything done. So
Yeah.
We wanted everything to align. Like, we needed to
Yeah.
organise a gig. We needed to get merch. We needed to like just organise so many different. The video, like everything had to be released. We didn't want to just put it out there. We needed to put together like a whole campaign, I suppose, because we just didn't want it to just release it and just sit there, like, and then release different things at different times. We wanted this to just be its own release and then move on to the next thing and kind of do that systematically, you know. So that takes so long to prepare and organise for you. Like, we've learned so much from this release. The top thing, I think, is that, you know, if we wrote a song tomorrow, that song will not get released for another like 5, 6, 7 months. If you want to do it properly, you know,
Absolutely.
allowing for setbacks and stuff like that. So
And it's always a learning process.
Yeah.
No matter
Well,
how you are, how
100%.
old you are.
it's the best part.
I think one of the fun, well, I won't say funny aspects because it wasn't funny at the time, but we kind of got to a point where we're like, okay, everything's clicking into place. We did the video with Olga. We had gotten the CDs were coming in the post. We had our T-shirts, which we actually sold out the first batch of T-shirts,
it was crazy.
which was completely. We were taken aback. We bought these T-shirts for the gig, and we were actually panicking then because the girl that did the T-shirts for us, Sarah from Heck Press, just had a baby. So we were like, okay, who are we going to get to reprint them for the gig? But anyway, the last piece of the puzzle was getting the physical CDs. And then maybe like 6 days before it came out, the week before, I messaged one of the guys. I was like, will you just play a few of the CDs just to see what it sounds like? And there was a problem with the encoding of the files.
No way.
Yeah.
So we didn't realise when a CD is mastered for a physical release, it's mastered in a specific way, and the industry standard is to have a 2-second buffer at the end of every song.
Right.
But the first song into the second song it's an intro into a song, and it just, we were sitting there almost laughing about it. It was like, how did we not know this? But it's something we
You
learned
live and
about.
learn.
Exactly. You live and learn. But
And that doesn't take away too much from the experience.
no, exactly. Like, I mean, we got it sorted very quickly
Yeah.
after. It's like, it was brilliant. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you were happy with is that your first time recording? No, you recorded with your other band.
Crooked Edge.
Yeah, I recorded with Crooked Edge. We released it.
How do you find recording
Oh, it's very.
as a vocalist? Vocalist.
I don't like hearing myself so like raw without a PA, without not singing through PA, through anything. Like, I don't like that. It's very exposing, and you're like, oh jeez, I didn't realize.
More so than someone playing an instrument, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't know how handy they have it.
Yeah.
I would say now I totally appreciate it, because like the vocals, it's just something there's just that magic to it, like, and it's very kind of different sitting in front of a microphone than on a stage, you know. It's a totally different experience.
With that EP, that Bloodwood, because Johnny, our drummer, was producing it, and I nearly threw him through a wall. You know,
that's that. I produce a lot of our stuff, and that's happened a few times as well.
So I'm sure we could probably exchange a lot of stories there, like, you know.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Like I actually find it quite difficult to listen to my own songs that I've sang on, because I know that I'll pick out something and it's done and it's out. Like that is out in public, in public domain. I can't change that. So it's sometimes I get really stressed. My dad will put on the CD and I'll be like, turn it off. Like I can't. Like not now. I just need to chill out and like leave it a couple of months and then come back to it, because otherwise I'll just freak out over something that is not an issue, but to me it is. And I'd love to know how to record my own vocals so that I could be in charge and I could be the one who presses the button and do it once or 10,000 times and not be a pain. Like you know, we recorded with Danny was fantastic, and he was, because we knew him, like I was comfortable with him, but also I was like, even if I wasn't 100% happy with the take, but like, you know, I'll just be polite, like I don't want to upset you or annoy you or anything, so let's just move on.
I learned early enough to stop doing that. Stop being polite, and you know, you're paying these dudes or whoever it may be, do it the right way. Do it. I'm singing it, so do it that way, like, you know. But it's a tough little situation at times. So tomorrow night is the official launch.
Finally.
I know.
Feels like Christmas.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's happening in Shinay tomorrow night, and I think the doors are 8, is it?
The doors, I think Shinay itself is open from 8. I think they're doing the doors for the gig around 9 o'clock.
Great.
We've 2 really cool and kind of different bands as well. We've got Skypilot coming down from Belfast.
Awesome band.
The gig, real quick, the gig is it's being run by Kev from Jet Rocker in association with the Distortion Project. James up the north.
Of course.
Excuse me. It's quite an amalgamation of the 3 different bands, like, and Ritual King as well are coming from Manchester, I think, in the UK. They're based.
I know the Lloyds are.
Yeah, and we've already kind of just been messaging a little bit back and forth, but they seem like real nice dudes. I think they're over for the Siege.
Yeah, I think they are.
And we're just really excited to put on a bit of a performance.
Different venue as well. Like I love playing Fivers. I love it still. Lads, maybe not so much, I don't know, but I never get tired of it because I drink there and I love playing there. I just love the place. I'll die there. Like, bury me in Fivers. But so it'll be different to play somewhere else that's not Fivers. And a different crowd probably as well. Like this will be I think it's our first gig we've put on ourselves, or maybe our second, that we've had to do the promoting, and like we are bringing people to see us. It's not like we're playing in a place where people already like a certain kind of music and will be passing by, and like, you know, punters, you know, just kind of building up the crowd. This will be like our crowd, so that's kind of nerve-wracking. So you're like, will one person be there? Will 5? So
look at it as a good challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's something that we were excited to do as well, because when it came to trying to sort something, we didn't just want to do, you know, just Fibbers again. Even though like, I'm the same, like I do love playing Fibbers. Yeah. People give out about Fibbers a lot, but
it's brilliant.
It has started so many bands off, and you know, even there's been international touring bands who have come and played Fibbers, like, and have put on amazing shows. Yeah. In Fibber McGee's, and it's, I don't know, it's a piece of the Irish music scene history there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the whole thing with this EP and everything that we've done is we try to do things a little bit differently. You know, didn't necessarily go with a very metal artwork, or we got white t-shirts instead of black t-shirts, and we just said, you know, where else could we go? And you know, the idea of Sinead came up, and we were like, sounded like a plan. Like Kev was a great help. We dealt with Kev a lot, and he helped us out a bit, because we were finding it tough to find somewhere to put on that would kind of deal with us as a band. And he said he knew the guys there, and he had worked with James as well, because the guys I think were already due to come over, and we kind of went in on the bill with them. But no, it's gonna be cool, and I mean,
great, man.
I think of it, it's gonna be a gig first and foremost, but it's a little bit of a celebration of the last year of hard work and kind of, we're just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what you do, and then anything else after that's a bonus.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, everyone get their ass down there tomorrow because I'd say it's going to be a great fucking night.
Hopefully,
I hope to get down. I'm not promising anything, but I'll do my best. So of course I wish you the very best of luck for that.
Oh, thanks
very much.
Because you deserve every good things. Very good things?
All
very good things. Maybe I should start scripting this. I don't know. Just before we go, tell me quickly about the video. Compromise Me.
Yes.
Very good, very cool video.
It was so much fun to film. It was a really great experience. All was fantastic. Like she had emailed us months and months and months ago saying, "Hey, I'm doing a discount for bands involved in Metal to the Masses," and then we were like, "Oh, it doesn't really suit us right now." And then I shot her an email in July or so and said, "Hey, any chance you've any availability coming up?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll still give you the discount, by the way." And we were like, "Oh my god, thank you!" And that's deadly. Shout out to Olga for just being a legend.
Olga Kuzmenko.
Yeah. She's fantastic, and she was really interested in just doing the video justice for the song. She wanted to keep. She wanted to didn't want it like. She gave like us the creative, reins. Like she was like, we can collaborate. I'm not just gonna do my own thing. Like I want to hear what you guys want to present, and then she was gonna throw her spin on it. So she showed us some locations that she had picked out. We picked their location. Cannot disclose where it is, unfortunately.
From parts unknown.
Okay.
And so we filmed the video there at the end of August, and we brought Roy from Greyface down with us, and he was the actor, the guy sitting in the chair who I'm screeching at for 3 minutes.
Fair play
to him. I brought a bottle of whiskey with me as well because I was like, I'm so awkward and shy. Like, even before shows, I have to have 2 drinks. That's my magic number. 2 drinks. So I had 2. Maybe 3 drinks before the video is the least enough. And it was good. We were really happy with what we were doing with it. Yeah.
It was a lot of work went into it, and I think I don't want to say we underestimated the amount of work we'd have to do setting the video up itself. But like Olga herself put so much work, and especially Al Daly as well, who was there, and he was assistant, and a friend of theirs, Connor Fleming, I think he was the gaffer on the set as well. But we had bits of apprehension. There was different things we thought, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I think they just put us totally at ease.
Good.
And she had a very clear vision. Once we kind of told her what we were looking for, they had a full storyboard. We got there, we knew they knew what they were doing, and it put us at ease then when we started, because I always find the worst part of those things is just getting there, getting set up, and when it actually starts going, just the magic started flowing.
And it's doing well.
It's doing very well.
So yeah.
Like, I mean, we didn't really have much of a YouTube presence before, and it shot up to 1,000 views, I think, in the first 2 days or something like that.
Cool.
Which is quite good for a band that we've done bits and pieces around before, but we're not particularly well established.
I know, that's very good.
But it's doing well, and it's led to some kind of just random people seeing it, and it's led to cool things. Like, we were seen by this guy on Facebook. There's 2 guys actually. I'll give them a shout out, Craig and Steve, and they run a Facebook page for female fronted bands.
Oh, cool.
But I don't know how they saw the video. They saw it somehow, but they loved it, and then we kind of got an influx of people from there. Then
community.
We have a lot of people who kind of know the band now and love the video, who aren't in the Irish scene. They're not our friends and family, and that's nice kind of validation, I suppose, as well from them. But it's the feedback has been great, and it's up on Spotify as well, and it's been doing quite well on Spotify. So
the future's looking well.
It is.
It's looking good for the guys.
Yeah. We're enjoying the process. Wherever it's taken us, we're enjoying it so far. So.
And have you any plans to do you go to the UK or Ireland or Europe?
We're kind of chatting with a few people over in the UK. We'd love to do maybe a weekend you know the way a lot of UK bands come here, they'll
Beach
do
rock, yeah.
Dublin,
Yeah.
they'll do maybe Belfast,
Yeah.
and then they do the Siege. We'd love
Yeah.
to do something similar in that sort of vein. Maybe get in with a few people and rough chats with a couple of people about it, but nothing set in
No, I
stone.
think it would be great. This is just my opinion. Yeah.
Mm.
I think it'd be great if you guys in Scathed maybe went across.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah, we played a couple of gigs with Tactile in Metal to the Masses and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think that'd be a nice package.
They're another amazing Irish band as well. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Oh,
Great
absolutely.
voice.
One of my favourite bands in
Yeah.
the country.
lovely dudes as well.
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you guys.
I think
Absolutely.
that's it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming along.
Thanks for
Oh,
listening
thank
to
you.
us shine on for an hour now.
That's what I do. You know, if I don't listen to you shine on, who will? You know? It's been really cool having you. And tomorrow's going to be fucking amazing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait. So we
Yeah.
hope
Yeah.
everyone else is going to enjoy it as much as we are.
Before we go, if I'm not talking to everybody in a week or two, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Be safe out there and look after your
Sound.
pets.
Yes.
Make sure that they don't have any bangers going up their arses. Or
Yeah.
whatnot. But yeah, for now, Ainsley, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl.
Ronan, as
Cheers,
always,
Carl.
thank you.
Pleasure.
KingWoes Court, I'm gone. Adios.